And the last one is the blobs with the character designs. It takes so much stress out of drawing and brainstorming and inspiring yourself on what to draw. Hey, welcome. We're doing a video on how to improve as an artist. I've noticed that there's a good percentage of my viewers who are not subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, well, let me give you a few reasons why you should subscribe. Because I do both 2D animation and I do motion graphics. And I also like to draw fan arts. So if you're looking for any tips or tricks, I love helping out anyone in need. There are a few tips that I have. And let's start with the one that I found the most important to me. When I draw, I use my whole hand, and I can show you some examples. When I'm using just my wrist and putting all the pressure on my wrist, that puts a lot of stress on it, and I try to avoid putting a lot of stress on my wrist because that leads to carpal tunnel, and that is very stressful for anyone to be in that type of situation where your wrist starts cramping and start feeling pain. So using your whole arm to draw is perfect to avoid. Putting all the pressure on your wrist is because not only avoiding carpal tunnel, but also because drawing with your whole arm it improves your ability to draw smoother lines, trying to put a lot of pressure on creating the line art. You don't want to put too much stress on your wrist because that leads to cramping, which leads to carpal tunnel. The next tip is to do gesture drawings. And gesture drawings is something that I always struggle with because it is a it is a exercise that I find very helpful because a lot of the time I draw characters and they look like cardboard. They don't look lively. They don't feel the most important exercise that is always repeated, and you're gonna hear this a lot. Gesture drawings, they are constantly repeated for a reason, and that is because they help you simplify the character with curves and straight edges to just really focus on the motion, because when you draw you want your characters to have like a fluid motion to them. You don't want them to look like a cardboard. Nobody wants that. Nobody's trying to draw a cardboard unless that is what you're going for, which is perfect. You want your character to look believable, happy, sad, any emotion. Being an animator, I've learned that gesture drawing and spending 10 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, those are like the best times because it really forces you to work faster and more efficiently with your time rather than spending 20 minutes on just 30 sketches before you even go into the final drawing, because you want to make sure that you're experimenting, and that is the most important as to why gesture drawing is. Brainstorm with all these different sketches in those 20 minutes. And that is, in my opinion, you can find any images online. You can find any resources online. There are so many websites, and you could get one of those like posable wooden figures. You can buy them at the art store. I don't know the exact price, but I know that they have those, and if you're looking to get one of those, they will help you. And if you can't afford those little wooden figures to help pose the that you're looking to draw, you can always ask a family member. That is also another great resource. Family members or friends, really close friends, just draw them. We covered using your whole arm to draw. That's a really good one. We covered gesture drawings, and another great one is if you have a pen tablet. I have a pen tablet. I've had this Wacom pen tablet for 5 years, going to 6 years now. I've had it for a very long time, and it served me pretty well. So hopefully that will help. Hopefully that tip helps you in any way. So there's a tip for drawing, and if you're interested, but I think that this is also helpful when you're feeling art block or if you're feeling uninspired or you can't figure out what to draw and you've spent like 30 minutes just blanking out. It is drawing blobs, and you draw the blobs with a big size brush, color like to just draw a blob, and from that blob you draw a character, you draw a person, you draw an object or anything. But this is specifically made for character design because it forces you to work with the blob that you created, and you spend five minutes at most to you, it takes the stress away from you having to come up with a design yourself, and you're like, I can't decide if I want to do an alien. I can't decide if I want to draw an elf. I can't decide if I want to draw an ogre or a furry, for crying out loud. It could be anything bad for being uninspired because it happens to everyone. And if you're feeling an art block, if you're feeling uninspired and you can't figure out what you want to pick any color, draw like 6 to 8 different blobs and just draw characters from it. I've done that exercise before, and I'll put up an example on the screen for you. And so the reason why I mentioned that blob exercise is because I've struggled so long. I've been drawing for 12 years, and in those 12 years, I've struggled so much on how to design a character, and I've always focused so much on like I've always just focused way too much on the details and trying to perfect the rendering. I spent way too much time on the rendering, and that led to a really bad design because it didn't really give me what I wanted. And what helped me fight through the stress and struggle of not being happy with the results is just spending 5 minutes on a sketch and just moving on, because I would just spend hours upon hours on a single character design. And that's good to explore, but it wasn't it wasn't what I wanted. And finding out about the character design exercise with using blobs, it took the stress away from figuring out if I wanted to draw a witch, an alien, a goblin, an elf, a fairy. It just endless possibilities. I hope that it can help you in any possible way too, because I'm always looking for new ways to improve my art. And if you're looking to ways, if you're looking for ways to improve your art, I hope that these tips and advices have helped you or can help you improve your art. I think that's it. So I think that's it for now. And I would say if you're looking for more tips on how to improve or ways to just sort of uh, relax after a long drawing session, just any tips or advice as a beginner artist or just as an artist in general, if you're looking for tips and a reminder on how to just sort of get inspired, I hope that I can help with that. My brain is not thinking. I'm losing my train of thought. I was just trying to say that I'm looking to do series of these. I'm looking to do more helpful tips and advice other than just stretches, warm-ups, exercises, etc. Like just anything to help you improve as an artist other than using your whole arm to draw. Gesture drawings, which is a very common and well-known exercise because it's very helpful for when for when you're starting out and you just want to be more looser and less constricting with your lines when you're drawing. And the last one is the blobs with the character designs. It takes so much stress out of drawing and brainstorming and inspiring yourself on what to draw. My question for you is what do you struggle with? what type of art or what are you looking to improve on? Is it anything related to art? Is it to improve your overall workflow? What do you do when you're experiencing an art block? I think let's start off with just general tips that have helped me improve as an artist. Okay, let's do that. What is your favorite artist? What is your favorite artist or who are your favorite artists? How do you just sort of, oh my god, my brain. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.